Now at 9, first Henry Brooks. Now questions surround the residency of another Shelby County Commissioner, Justin Ford. It's a sweet spot with long lines in the summertime in Memphis, Jerry Snowcones. But now it looks like Jerry's may be ready to open another cool spot. We'll show you where. And behind closed doors with the veterinarians at the Memphis Zoo, I'll show you what goes into taking care of thousands of patients at the zoo.
Live from WLMT TV in high definition, this is CW30 News at 9.
Good evening to you. I'm Cameron Harper. The residency of another Shelby County Commissioner is in question tonight. The county attorney determined that Henry Brooks didn't live in the district she represents. Now sources say Justin Ford doesn't live in his district either. CW30's Rudy Williams is live in our newsroom tonight with new information. Rudy?
Well, Cameron, the question is, how do you represent a district that you don't live in? Or better yet, another question, how do you live in a place without air conditioning or heat? Well, it seems that Commissioner Justin Ford has this all figured out. MLGW records indicate that he's had an apartment in his district for years, but without power. Shelby County Commissioner Justin Ford lists this apartment in Whitehaven as his address. Fairways Apartments confirms the apartment is in Ford's name, and...
Hey, is Justin here?
He was there when we stopped by this afternoon.
I'm sorry?
But if he has been living there, he's been living in the dark for years. MLGW records show his utilities have been disconnected for more than 2 years. Services were turned on in September of '09, but turned off December of 2011 for non-payment. And all his disconnect notices have been going to his parents' address in Bartlett. It wasn't until the investigation into Brooks' residency was started that Ford contacted MLGW requesting his utilities be turned back on. According to MLGW, Ford contacted them on June 19th. That's a few days after we reported Henry Brooks appeared to be living with her daughter in Cordova. Now, of course, Commissioner Ford was not interested in talking this matter over when we stopped by this evening. MLGW records indicate that his power was shut off even today, and there is an outstanding bill at his campaign headquarters on Shelby Drive. Reporting from the newsroom, I'm Rudy Williams, CW30 News.
And we have team coverage of the Shelby County Commission residency issues now. Henry Brooks is out, but the fight is just beginning where she's concerned. Shelby County commissioners are already looking for Brooks' replacement, and her lawyers already say they're heading to court. As CW30 watchdog Mike Matthews shows us, this story just gets more confusing.
I can't listen with people going back and forth.
If you had a few walnuts that needed cracking, this was the day to put them near Justin Ford's gavel. He'd be slamming it some.
If I hit this gavel, it's going to be a problem.
Henry Brooks walked right in, sat right down, and acted like she belonged in the Shelby County Commission conference room. Even though County Attorney Marcy Ingram had ruled Brooks was living in her daughter's home in Cordova, that she lived outside of her elected district and was now a former county commissioner.
The seat is vacated, has been forfeited by the change of residence.
Brooks not only showed up, but she was allowed to speak. Again, she never denied not living outside of her district. Brooks said the county attorney didn't have the authority to do what she did.
But I do not feel that my seat has been vacated based on any issue of fact.
A majority of commissioners decided not to let Brooks vote on this issue, and frankly, they said she should just leave.
The right thing to do would be to resign your position if you moved out of your district. The right thing to do would be to show some leadership and not force this decision upon us.
Ditto from Chris Thomas, the commissioner Brooks referred to as the man wearing a white sheet a few weeks ago.
And the right thing to do, morally, ethically, would be for Commissioner Brooks to either show everyone where her house is, I mean, she's got nothing to hide, or step down and be a leader that she professes to be.
7 commissioners voted to start the ball rolling to find a replacement for Henry Brooks. Her lawyers say it's not over.
The next step will be to probably go to court and to stop this train, this runaway train, so to speak.
Mike Matthews, CW30 News.
Brooks is fighting back against charges that she doesn't live in her district. Brooks's lawyers say that she lives with an elderly woman on Mississippi Boulevard, which would be right in the middle of Brooks' district. This is the same woman Brooks gave a proclamation to in January. During that presentation, Brooks never mentioned living at that home, only that she visited.
That's Miss Jones. Now, what we're doing here today is just a token. And what I want to do, she has pieces of paper, and I've visited her home, and I'm so proud that she has invited me a number of times. She has all kinds of awards and accolades all over the place.
If Commissioner Brooks lived there, she wouldn't have to be invited over. So she lied about that also.
Commissioner Terry Rowland plans on sending a note to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, asking agents to investigate what other things former Commissioner Brooks may be hiding. All this is happening as Brooks is campaigning for Shelby County Juvenile Court Clerk. Anyone convicted of a felony cannot hold political office. But right now, this investigation won't affect her immediate campaign. The state has already approved the ballot and Brooks' name is already on it. The same address Henry Brooks is in trouble for listing as her home with the county is also the one that she gives on the petition to run for Juvenile Court Clerk. Shelby County's Election Commission meets next week and will likely talk about this, but cannot bring criminal charges. That's up to the district attorney's office, and DA Amy Wyrick, though, will not be able to handle the case because she has a conflict of interest since the county commission authorizes her budget. CW30 will stay on this story. We're currently investigating the residency of every Shelby County commissioner to see if they live where they say. New at 9 o'clock tonight, an Eads man who is already charged with drug and weapons violations after a raid Monday is now facing the charge of aggravated rape. Mark Giannini was out of jail on $50,000 bond when he was arrested again tonight on the rape charge. Shelby County narcotics deputies raided Giannini's mansion in Old Meadow in Eads on Monday. They were serving a warrant involving a drug-related assault. They say they had to force their way onto the property, and a man advised them through the intercom that Giannini was not home and refused to open the gate. Detectives say they found footprints, wet footprints, leading from the house to the nearby woods, and a short time later, Giannini showed up at the gate, sweating profusely and had fresh scratches. Inside the home, detectives say they found nearly $17,000 cash, 24 firearms, and lots of prescription drugs not prescribed to Giannini. Detectives have not released information relating to the new aggravated rape charge. Giannini's bond set at $1 million. He's set to appear in court tomorrow.
Now from CW30, the Mid-South's most accurate forecast.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. We started off at 73 degrees this morning for the low in Memphis and climbed up to 88 degrees for the afternoon high. As we take a look at real-time radar, it's showing a line of storms moving to the north-northeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. And as we put that into motion, you can see most of it lifting and going to stay over on the Arkansas side of the Mississippi River. If we take a little closer view of what's happening with that area, we can see it moving throughout portions of Cross County, lifting just around Wynn and lifting up towards Truman and headed towards Mark Tree. But we have stronger storms to the west near Mayflower and Jacksonville, but it looks like they're going to be moving mainly directly to the north. Here's a look at the evening outlook. For 11 o'clock, mainly clear, 78 degrees. Tomorrow morning, we'll start with early sunshine and 73. By mid-morning, a muggy takeover, 85, temps in the mid-80s. Now, coming up, I'll prepare you for just how muggy it'll be with a look at our muggy meter for tomorrow afternoon when I return.
Thank you, Paul. New at 9 o'clock tonight, Mid-South, get ready. The owner of Jerry's Snow Cones says he's planning to open a second location. The original and legendary location is on Wells Station Road in Berclair. Jerry of Jerry's Snow Cones says he bought the property off Germantown Parkway in Cordova behind Chuck E. Cheese, about an acre of land. CW30's Austin Lewis is live in Berclair tonight, and let's ask Austin what's been involved in this decision. What's going into it? She's outside Jerry's right now.
Well, Cameron, Jerry of Jerry's Snow Cone says after decades of being in Berclair, it's a good time to consider adding a new store. Snow Cones is more than the bright pink and green walls and the dozens of snow cone choices. It's a place that has stood the test of time.
I bet my best friend lived around the corner, so I've come to Jerry's Snow Cones my whole life.
And now Jerry, the owner, says he's bought property off Germantown Parkway in Cordova and is looking into opening a new store there.
I just think it may be time. I mean, it's business is really good over here, and a lot of people have been asking us to maybe move to different areas, and you know, God willing, we'll be able to build something next year, if not, you know, sometime in the near future.
And he thinks this area has a lot of potential.
just a lot of people running around off Germantown Parkway. We thought that would be a good spot, pretty good distance from here, and you know, just kind of hit a little bit different market.
Some are excited at the possibility that Jerry's snow cones could grow.
Nice. Now that's going to be gorgeous. It'll give jobs to people because people like this ice cream.
For those who come to Jerry's, there's something about this icy confection that will keep them coming back.
The snow cones are so good, and it's a surprise because you wouldn't think that the ice cream that you can get inside with the snow cone, all the different varieties of flavors, I don't know how many they have, but it seems like 100 of them. And the texture and they're fabulous.
Now, Cameron, should he open a new location, he hopes that people also look into his hamburgers and muffulettas. He says they're delicious. He also says that he doesn't have a time frame yet, just that it could open in the near future. Reporting live in Berkeley, Austin Lewis, CW 30 News.
Thanks, Austin. I talked to Jerry earlier today myself, and he said that they're going to celebrate 50 years of being open in that Berkeley location this month. So it'll be interesting. A lot of people consider Jerry's to be a part of Memphis history. So what do you think of the new Jerry's location? What's your favorite sweet treat from Jerry's? Let us know on our Facebook page, Local Memphis, and you'll find us right there. Still ahead on CW 30 News at 9, a parking problem in downtown Memphis. Those new smart meters are supposed to make it easier for you, but one local man says he was unfairly ticketed after using them, and now he's getting a runaround at City Hall. And coming up, Grammy winner Rosanne Cash. She was here last week. Now she's in Washington to talk to lawmakers about downloading songs illegally. Hear what she has to say. But next, from Bass Pro to the new Beale Street Landing, a new project says that there are projects in this city, a lot of them, that are a waste of your taxpayer dollars, and we have the list. CW 30 investigates right after the break.